check it on your actual YouTube and all that stuff too. I just pressed the live, so we're streaming. It's just waiting for this to pop up on here. I have this whatever you want to talk about, like on the screen right here. I'll put it up and I'll switch to it whenever you're ready and stuff like that. So
you're gonna use you're in total control of the cameras, right?
yeah, I'm in control of the cameras. Like we won't worry about the screens and all those things right now, but I can
I just want to see this work.
Yeah,
You
okay.
don't want it on, do you?
Yeah, no, don't worry about it right now. I'm gonna actually just we'll go with our current setup, and then afterwards we can troubleshoot and test out this one next time. Since like,
No, that's fine.
I know we got time. We gotta make sure we get this to Jack before 1, right? Yeah.
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 I'll leave it on. I can't turn it off right now.
Okay. Yeah.
This off, it cut off. Cool.
Let's see.
I just hung that the other day.
Which?
The one on the left.
Oh, okay.
It'll probably take the place of the big one. And get here's what my thoughts were, and then I'll shut up. I promise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That little bitty screen you're looking at, the little bitty one.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Get rid of that and make that screen that screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Let me turn it to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Get rid of that little one, and then because that articulating arm will put that more in front of you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Yeah, like I said, we're live now. Let me see. Yeah, we're good to go. Hold on, let me just.
You tell me when I'm ready to. Hold on a second.
Yeah, we can start. So yeah. Yeah. Right.
Hold on, I ain't ready to go yet. One hour, 59 minutes. And 50 seconds.
Yeah.
And we can have a little delay in there and we'll be fine, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Kevin. Where's your phone?
All right, put it away.
Well, get it out a minute if you would. Can we use it?
Absolutely. So you need the timer?
No, I want you to just put 2 hours on there and we're gonna push. Yeah, you can time it. Make it a timer. See what I did at 1 hour, 59 minutes and 50 seconds. Yours is kind of a backup. I hope it doesn't go to sleep on me.
1 hour and 59 minutes.
50 minutes, 59 minutes, 50 seconds.
59 minutes, 50 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
1 hour, 59 minutes,
Now
and
we're
50
gonna push
seconds.
start. Does yours cut off automatically after a set period of time and go to sleep?
I don't know if it goes to sleep, but yeah, it'll probably fade out, I guess, once it rings or whatever. It'll do a
In
ring.
settings, what would you go to turn the screen off? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, we're live right now. So yeah.
Well, can we start
Yeah, we can start. Yeah, we're
recording?
good to go.
So you're gonna mark it?
What was that, sir?
You gonna mark it?
Yeah. Hey,
All right,
we
you
call
ready
it?
to go?
Yeah, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hey folks, Ray Terry here with Put Tools in School. This is about your house, actually. First edition, first broadcast, first live of About Your House on Fox Sports Charlotte. This will be downloaded and put on the program tomorrow at 9 o'clock, 9 to 11, just like normal. This is the first. I got my buddy here, Kevin Meurer, with me today. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Ray.
Thanks for waking up and coming in here today. Appreciate you. I really do. And what we're doing today is the first broadcast of About Your House of the new year. And give me a minute or two here to perfect. And excuse me, we're getting our timer set because this is the first broadcast on, we're YouTube Live, Facebook Live, YouTube on About Your House radio channel, as well as the Put Tools in Schools channel. We are also live streaming on Facebook Live, both About Your House and YouTube. And I got a great year ahead of us, I hope. We've got a great year ahead of us. And I'm going to start this thing this year. This show is sponsored by many people. We're getting a lot of support in around Put Tools in Schools. About Your House is the voice of Put Tools in Schools, and I feel like it's really necessary at this time to give you a little history. You know, a lot of you probably seen me before, heard me before on Fox Sports Charlotte through the years. I started actually on radio in June of '91, WBT AM, 1110 AM, the powerhouse of the South at the time. My, how things have changed since June of '91. My gosh, it's unbelievable. And here we are, January. Well, we're recording on January 9th here in the podcast studio. We call it the Toolbox. So here we are today doing streaming on the internet, on the interweb. Yep, things certainly have changed. It's not a bad change, but it's a change. At any rate, more history. I personally have lived in Charlotte my whole life, born and raised here. Went to Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, public school system. I went to Behringer Elementary and Sedgefield Junior High, and then we moved across town and I went to Garinger. Graduated from Garinger High School in 1970. My career started in Garinger. And I say it started in Garinger, well, I took drafting, and I was good at drafting. I was good at drawing, but more than that, I was good with my hands and my mind and doing a little critical thinking. Who knew at the time, being 17, 18 years old, where you wanted to go and what you wanted to do the rest of your life? But in drafting class, I took drafting 1 in the 11th grade and drafting 2 in the 12th grade. It was a 2-hour class, so 2 periods. So I would draw diligently in my first period and then step up the second hour and go next door and weld. And I was still ahead of all the other students. So, and I love drawing. I love designing. Then I'd go next door and weld. So that was a step in my first direction, you might say, of auto mechanics, because I loved racing. Remember, we're in the South here, in the heart of NASCAR country, and I like to play with my hands and create things, fix things. Kevin, I relate to Kevin here because he's helped me off and on. It's been about a little over a year now, hasn't it?
That's been over a couple of years.
Couple years.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, Kevin's helped me, and I knew immediately after talking to him and, you know, discussing his ADHD problem, not a problem at all. It's a great gift. Wouldn't you agree?
I would.
So Kevin here's I took him under my wing a little bit to help him all I could, because after all, I've made it this far, so what the heck, give back what you've got. And I've done that with Kevin. I hope I've been somewhat effective, but here he sits. He's my guest today, so you know, he's a part of it. The vision, you might say, and what that vision is what I'm going to be talking about here for the next 10 or 15 minutes, about what in the heck is Put Tools in Schools, and why is it associated with About Your House? Well, you know, for 55 years, as I said, I graduated from Garinger in '70. I went the mechanic route in the military, but before I went to basic training, I also took a job in construction, you know, because it just happened. You know, I was somewhere one night, the guy asked me if I'd be interested in construction. I said, sure, because I had just quit my job because I was running from my girlfriend. No, no, I was just broken up. So I wanted to get out of the neighborhood, but that's another story we'll tell another day. At any rate, so I went in the military. I went into basic training in AIT, and I went in as a wheel vehicle mechanic and track vehicle mechanic. And that was interesting. Matter of fact, I was the honor graduate in the wheel vehicle mechanic side, and I was third in the track. Not that that mattered because of the military. Didn't make no mind to me. It wasn't a goal of mine. It just happened. At any rate, more validation to the abilities I had using my mind and my hands and fixing things. And I'd always been that kind of guy. Well, okay, I got back to Charlotte, and my job in construction was waiting on me. They wanted me back on site. We were building apartments, Kings Creek Apartments and Treetop Apartments over to intersection of Nations Ford Road and I-77. That's really where my construction career started. Okay, we had a recession in the early 70s, and the economy got bad and sour, and so, you know, the company I work for is, if you've lived in Charlotte long enough, it was Urban Construction. Let me see your timer there. Urban Construction. There you go. And Urban was one of the biggest builders in Charlotte at the time, along with John Crosland. They have built subdivisions all over this town in the early days. Hidden Valley, Four Seasons, Starmount, the whole corridor up Independence Boulevard that's mostly been torn down of commercial. But they were, anyway, big outfit. Well, big corporate America jumped in. American Signing and Chemical Company bought Irvin. Now, what sense does that make? Beyond me, but it seems to be happening all over again with investment groups in Charlotte right now taking over our service industries, such as electrical companies and HVAC companies. And so here we are, you know, back in the same boat, basically, that you got big corporate America taking over companies. Well, they took over Irvin. And when they did, Irvin bellied up. Okay, and I was the last superintendent. Yep, I said superintendent. I was hired as a laborer in 1970, well, 70, the fall of 1970. I was hired as a laborer, or a coordinator, they called it at the time. Got better names now for all those positions. But when I got back, I worked my way up to superintendent. I was like a sponge. I love construction. As I told you, my drafting paid off. When you draw something, if you got a mind like mine, when you draw anything, you're building it as you draw it. And you know, it's what's so neat about an eraser, you can make it go away on paper and fix it. And I've done a lot of that in my life. So I've been in the industry, you know, when I left, I've been in the industry since 1970. And do the math, that's a few years, 50, going on 56 years. And I'm still able to work. I'm still doing ventilation systems, but my primary career would be what I would call a remodeling person, a remodeling contractor, a remodeling specialist. And remodeling to me was the artistic side of what this industry's all about. You know, remodeling. You take a house and dreams from individuals and you put it on paper, design it, and you build it. It's been a lot of fun. Well, through the years, I got heavily involved. I'm trying to fast forward this a little bit. And I've told this story to many of you many times over the years. And about June of '91, I got to be on the radio, as I said earlier, and that started my career in radio. So I had if you want to call it a career, it was definitely a Saturday something to do, no question. And now here we are 36 years later on the airways of Charlotte. And I could go back in the history of which channels I've been on, but none of that really matters. But the whole idea behind the whole informational side of what I do on the radio is give back what I've learned. You know, try to make the connections around what I've learned. And back around, I don't know, 1990, I became the first president of the NARI chapter of Charlotte. It was October of 1990. We chartered that chapter, the chapter that still exists today, and I might say is thriving in Charlotte. And why it's thriving is because Charlotte's a mecca for remodeling. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, the houses here, the amount of wealth that's moved in and what people are building, customizing, just the little I've seen has been great. People are really doing what they want when they have the room.
Well, I'll say this. The climate in Charlotte has always been, always. When I left Urban, I went into remodeling, and that was in, I think, 73 or 74. I don't know exactly. But when I started remodeling houses, I've been through 5 recessions, 5 downturns in the economy, and some pretty big, especially 2008. But I really never ran dry of work, never. And part of the reason for that is because of my abilities and what I was trained in. And really, what was I trained in? And that's the emphasis that I'm going with this whole year, in and around Put Tools in Schools. And this show's going to be sponsored and brought to you in part by Put Tools in Schools. And it's also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store has been around Charlotte since 1952, the year I was born. Hey, I'm 74 this month, January 27th. 74 years, Queen City audio appliance. Actually, it was initially Queen City TV. A Woody Player here in Charlotte, God bless his soul, had a big family, and it became a big family business where Queen City audio, video, and appliance, it elevated to that name, and then due to technology and all the advancements. And then now today they've advanced it a little further and become Queen City Home Store. And if you're interested in what they carry, go on queencityonline.com, queencityonline.com, or 704-391-6000. They're in multiple cities now. They've taken over some furniture stores and converting those stores into appliance and home furnishings. Let's just call it home furnishings. They cover the gambit. And let me tell you, they do a great job. Great service at best prices around, so give them a call. Compare. Go online, Queen City Online. You can shop right there online, queencityonline.com. You know. And let me talk about some more of my sponsors here, because as you see, we're in a new podcast studio. And during our development of all this, the technology has blown me away. And I can't embrace it quick enough. There's so much to learn. But we couldn't do it without the support of our sponsors, and sponsors that have been with us the duration of About Your House. And About Your House has been on airways now for going on 36 years. But recently, in the past 10, 20 years, I've had tremendous support from many of my sponsors. Take ABS Insulating. ABS Insulating, located down in Indian Trails, jumped on board many years ago, probably 10 years now, and supported the show and its growth. We couldn't have done it without their help. That's ABS Insulating, and they're located down in the Indian Trail area, but they'll go anywhere in the Charlotte metro area. And let me tell you about the Charlotte metro area. You know what the Charlotte metro area is? Test question. Do you know? Get close to your mic.
Do you mean like the area inside 277?
No.
No?
So you don't know.
No.
That's why I brought it up. That's why I asked you. Charlotte metro area is the 7 counties surrounding Charlotte.
Okay.
And that's basically what the Charlotte metro is. About 75-mile radius.
Okay.
You know, that beats Charlotte metro. And Charlotte metro, for some of these companies, my sponsors, go even further. But ABS Insulating, you know, if you're looking for a way to make your house more affordable, energy conscious, comfort level great, and if you're adding a room on, great company to handle the insulation values of it, as well as spray foam insulation, be it closed cell or open cell, encapsulating crawl spaces in certain respects, certain aspects of those. You could use foam insulation, There is a difference between open cell and closed cell. Give them a call, they'll explain it to you, or just go online, ABS Insulating. And you know, during the technology, do you ever go online looking for a company and just Google it?
Yes.
That's the best way to find it, isn't it?
It used to be. I think
it still is.
Yeah. Well, there's more ways now, especially with AI and things like that. But I mean, that's my go-to right there.
Google, as Uncle Red says, Google-ate it. ABS Insulating, Charlotte, North Carolina. And Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. They've come on board here, been proud to support Put Tools in Schools, as well as About Your House. And let me put a little footnote to that one. If you support About Your House, you are in fact supporting Put Tools in Schools. Because this podcast studio, all things considered from this point forward, will be around Put Tools in Schools, and this show is explaining to you why. Because I'm trying to be more loving, more caring, more diplomatic with my words this year. And one of the statements I've always used is we become a bunch of overeducated idiots. Well, as of today, I'm going to get rid of the word idiot.
All right.
And that's
it's positive. It's in a positive direction, yeah.
But I sit as the executive director for Put Tools in Schools. It's a small organization, 501c3 nonprofit, but it's so essential, you know, and to have these companies support us, it enables us to put out information that you as listeners, you as homeowners, you as community people, neighbors, howdy neighbor, you need to know about these things. And I'm not here to spread bad news, but unfortunately we live in a time that's not too pleasant to talk about all the time. So I don't know how to put whipped cream on it and butter it all up and make it better, but we're going to try it here on the show. And back to my support, Rhino Live Foundation Solutions. Google-ate those people, because if you're looking for honest, reputable, down and dirty information to make a great decision on, they're your company. They're not going to come out there to try to sell you anything you don't need, but they will come out there and assess your situation, be it a foundation problem, be it a chimney leaning problem, being a crawl-space issue, water intrusion, waterproofing. They got you covered. Slab sinking, sidewalk sinking, patio sinking. They're a company that can take care of your needs and fix it. That's Rhino Live Foundation Solutions. You know, couldn't be here without them. And Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. That's showroom to your door company. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. They're located in Matthews, but I don't care where you're at, they're going to take care of you. I promise you. They will take care of your needs, be it floor coverings, be it hardwood, which is the most popular floor on the market, or in Charlotte market, LVP, a luxury vinyl plank. I love me some LVP. Matter of fact, I've got a room to do here in the toolbox. And Floor Coverings International stepped up and going to take care of us. And so that's something we're going to put down. Maybe I'm going to get my buddy Kevin here to help me put it down.
All right.
You game for that?
Oh yeah, I love LVP too.
You like what?
I like the LVP also.
You like the LVP?
Oh yes.
It's the best product I've seen come on the market. Matter of fact, when I saw that come on the market, luxury vinyl plank, I was totally blown away.
Yeah, I had it put in my house when you know, I had a leak come through the ceiling, had to tear up the floors and put the LVP in, and I love it. It's naturally waterproof. You know, it's just way more durable. Like it's gonna outlast the house as far as I see.
It's very, very durable. You know, something I've noticed in the remodeling market in Charlotte too, speaking of updating, like with your floors with Floor Coverings International, you know, they bring the showroom to you. They do. They've got 4 or 5 vans they stock with all the products they carry, and all you got to do is, you know, give them a call, set an appointment. They'll show up at your door with all the things you may want in your house, and if that's not good enough, they'll come back, and they bring the showroom to you. So it works. That's Floor Coverings International, but something I was going to say about the market in Charlotte. Houses 10 years or less blow me away in the fact of how people will move in that house and spend enormous amounts of money on remodeling it when it's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have the look they want.
Yeah, it's
Last week I went out with my son and we took a vent hood down. Probably the biggest vent hood I've ever taken down, but I got to go back and put it back up. But we took it down in about a $3 million house. We took it down so they could take the existing stone backsplash off and countertops off and repaint the cabinets. And then I'm going to go back and put the hood back up. But there was nothing wrong with this kitchen. It looked brand new. But there's tremendous amount of remodeling to that effect going on in Charlotte. So the sponsors I've got on this show, like Queen City, I couldn't have done that job without a Queen City referral somewhere along the way, because I do installs for Queen City on a referral basis because of the problem we've got. What might that problem be? Problem is, I can't say stupid, but that's the problem. For example, yesterday, I had to go out and install a refrigerator that someone else preceding me went out and attempted to install and didn't do it. So I had to finish the job. they had it installed on the water line, which that's a no-no, you know, because how you gonna get water through a water line with a refrigerator wheel on it? Won't happen. Anyway, then I had to install a downdraft vent system that they had come out and not done correctly, as well as take an oven out and put the oven back in because it was not installed correctly. They had it installed on a piece of particle board, and the particle board had a big bow in it, and that caused anyway, it wasn't right. So we had to fix it. Now, why does this go on week after week after week? Kevin here worked for a company here recently, mentioning no names, don't want to put you in the bind or corner or get you in trouble, but were you pleased with the way this company operated and delivered the services?
No, not entirely. There's great people that work for the company, but I think the overall structure for the billing and what was added on, I mean, they made sure they take care of theirs, what they needed and their expenses.
Right.
But there was also, from what I saw, you know, flat out price gouging and overcharging people because, well, they didn't know where else to go and they wanted it done and they could do it.
And there's your problem. There's not enough intelligent, well-rounded technicians out there anymore. They're out there, but they're not out there in force. They're not out there in numbers. They're slim to none. What are we going to do about that? And part of my mission, our mission, is puttoolsinschools.org. Visit our website. See what our mission is. It's really just simple, real simple, to raise the awareness of the many pathways and opportunities in the construction trades and beyond industries. When I say and beyond, because the trades are vast. I mean, you've got, to throw a very popular artistic form of trade into it, tattoo artists.
Oh, yeah.
Tattoo artists. You know, I mean, that's just carrying it to kind of an extreme, but you've got automotive, you've got diesel mechanics, you've got CDL drivers, you've got cosmetology, which is hair, you know, and beauty services around predominantly women, but it goes both ways. Then as well as carpenters, plumbers, electricians, welders, masonry. I mean, it goes on and on and on, and these jobs and opportunities are out there like never before. Never before in the history of this country has there been such a shortage and dire need for technicians and people in the trades.
Absolutely, and that's you know, supply and demand, and there's not enough skilled people out there to do it. That when people jump in the arena and offer their services, they know there's not much competition, and when there's, you know, adequate competition and enough people out there to spread it around, things get a lot more fair.
Yeah, right now there's a lot of upselling going on, price gouging going on, and it's around the fact that you can't find people. And here's the sad part. Okay, you hire someone. I hear this day in and day out, folks. Day in and day out. A story I'm about to tell you is just one of many. You know, you hire somebody, they come in your house, such as my job yesterday. They asked the people to leave their house because they knew that they weren't doing a good job. Well, what happens then, you have to find someone else. The stress levels go up as a homeowner, you know, and then you've got to find another person, which, you know, you've got to ask referrals. And by the way, let me talk about this referral thing. And here's another issue. So you get a name and a number for a company, a gentleman or a female, I don't care who, it doesn't matter. How do you know they're worth it? How do you know they're going to meet your expectations? Well, I'm going to say this. Referrals are fantastic. Now, granted, you can plant referrals. You can make them up and set them and stage them, you know, if you want to, if you wanted to. But the fact of the matter is, that's not what they do typically and get referrals and check with clientele about that, about what they've done for them. Back when I was remodeling a kitchen, for example, marketing for me was easy. All I had to do was call up a past client that I'd remodel her kitchen, maybe 2, maybe 3. And I would literally take my prospective clientele or my new prospect to that kitchen. Not only did they see the work we did, but they would get to talk to a customer right there in their kitchen and their project that I remodeled for them. Powerful marketing, and it worked every time. Now, that's a referral base. If you don't know who it is that's coming to your house, why would you do that to start with? Because unless you had a good referral, like Neighbors, isn't there an app called Neighbors now, something like that?
Yeah, I think it's like
Nextdoor. Excuse me. Please forgive me. Nextdoor. There are a lot of apps this day and time and referral networks via technology that you can get on. And the Google reviews. I got a great friend that she won't do anything unless she goes to the Google reviews. And they're pretty reliable for the most part. Point is, don't hire people blindly. It's more of a problem today than ever before. Not only do they come in your house and not know what they're doing, and I'm not trying to sit here and criticize everybody and put them down. I'm really not. But is it a big problem right now, Kevin?
Yeah, I think referrals, it's kind of like you have a little bit of stake in the game. You have something that connects to some kind of truth, and verification.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Referrals and checking on past jobs are very, very, very necessary for your well-being and your stress, I promise you, and your home. So, put tools in schools. Well, how's that going to change things? Well, I'm going to tell you what I've experienced this year and what we're going to continue to experience until industry steps up and takes a part in this change. And the problem is everything today is all about money, so industry wants to see a return on their investment. The only return on the investment of being involved, put tools in schools, is knowing you're changing a child's life. And when it happens, too, sometimes. You've been to a Put Tools in Schools events. What'd you think of them?
Oh, I loved it. That needs to be done more often. And especially, I think it's an opportunity for people that are in the industry to give back. And that's necessary because it's like we're all students. And if we can help teach someone else, we're actually learning a lot.
I agree.
More than we realize on the surface.
I agree wholeheartedly. You got to give back, industry. You got to. Anyway, we Put Tools in Schools events. Now, what are they? And I'm going to take this opportunity here, January 9th, 2026. It is the night. Yes, it is the night. Mm-hmm. Man, this week's been a blur. But at any rate, so here we are, January 9th. 2026 headed into the new year, and this is an opportunity to put it all on the table, let you know what our goals are. But before I tell you what the goals are, I'm going to tell you how bad things are. And here we go again, me being negative. I'm not being negative. I'm just going to tell you some facts. Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. First of all, I'm born and raised in Charlotte, went to school here, and been in my construction career here for 56 years now. I've been a part of, in the peripheral of, the educational system of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've watched it go down the tubes the way it's gone down the tubes since the mid-'70s when they took all the tools out of schools. And I've seen how gradually for the past 50 years it has just, the technical education or vocational education has just been depleted and depleted and depleted to where there are no tools in our schools in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg system. And in this endeavor to change the landscape of our kids' learning abilities, I came up with this idea in 2018. Let's start an awareness campaign. put tools in schools. And as this awareness campaign has grown, and it has grown significantly, and it continues to grow, what's the point in growing? To make kids aware, to raise the awareness to the students. Why is it so critical? We've been in 3 middle schools this year, 3. And we haven't been in many middle schools, a few. But the major fact that's been learned, because you literally, all you have to do is ask them, our students in Charlotte Mecklenburg schools, now I can't speak on behalf of all the schools or the 140,000 plus students that attend the Charlotte Mecklenburg schools, or all the 17 private schools, and let's don't throw the charter schools in there. How many kids actually know what the trades are? And here we are out there as professional companies touting the trades. We got to increase, we got a shortfall in the trades, labor. And I keep seeing it on LinkedIn and professional newsletters and all this communique about apprenticeships, for example, the apprenticeships. Our middle school students not only don't know what the trades are, they don't know what the word apprenticeship means. And that's the raw fact right there. Well, how in the world can students or kids aspire to be in the trades when they're not even being presented what they are or taught what they are? It's like it doesn't exist in our elementary and middle schools in Charlotte, North Carolina. And it doesn't exist, because all you got to do is show up, ask them. And it's amazing what a table full of tools draws when you have a trade day, because kids aren't used to seeing tools. Now, that's not universal. There are great craftsmen out there, but the one thing I hear a lot, and when I see or feel the energy from a student that comes up and grabs a tool, he knows what it is. Where'd you learn it? My granddaddy taught me. Now, I do hear my father showed me. My father's in construction. I do hear that. And it's popular. However, not much. Most kids don't know what the trades are, but ask them if they're going to college. What do you think they say? What do you think they say? They say, yeah. They say, yeah. I know I'm going to college. What you going to college for? I'm going to be a biologist major, or I'm going to be a marine biologist. I says, and you can tell they've been coached. Now, how in the world does a 7th or 8th grader know they want to be a marine biologist? I mean, maybe they have a likeness out of the magazines or whatever, but we're not offering. My point is, they're not seeing the whole menu.
Yes.
They're not seeing the
limited exposure to certain things, and maybe it's a parent or whoever's close in their life. They see that, but they just see that one pathway.
And as bad as this sounds, and I don't mean there again, I won't be negative, I really don't. But we've got to change this whole system. The education system's broke. We all know that. Okay, I can't fix it. You can't fix it. And I don't know if we can fix it, but we can be a part of it. And the we, who is the we? It's industry. If we show up at a school, not if, when we show up at a school, because schools are reaching out for us. They're reaching out because here's the problem. Not only do the kids, here's a sad situation, but it's true. And look, I by no means want to criticize or throw teachers or anybody under the bus. Nope, don't want to do it. But the fact of the matter is, we have got to face the reality of what's going on, or better yet, what's not going on. Our kids need exposure to the career pathways in the trades. All these ADHD kids out here that you hear about, and all this Adderall crap and the drugging and all this, do you realize what's going on? Do you really see what's going on? Do you think they really want our kids to know how to fix stuff? Do you think, no, and I'll tell you why. Not only the kids have been educated that way, but you parents have also been educated that way, unfortunately. And the only pathway to success and purpose is college. Is that true, Kevin?
I've seen that that's been the push.
That's the push, but is it true?
I don't feel like
No.
it. No.
Here's the raw truth. 90%, I'm not here to criticize degrees, but they're not working. Okay, putting that aside, they're not working. How do you know? Harvard, MIT did a study. 90% of those that graduate with a degree, regardless whether it's a master's, bachelor's, or even a PhD, 90% of the people who graduate college with a degree do not use that degree in their career pathway. So why are they going? For an education? For what? To do what? We have got on this bandwagon around education, and it started really revved up in the 70s. And fortunately, I've lived through all this to be able to see it and sit here today and talk about it. And I'm going to tell you, there's so much I could get. I get so wrapped up in it, people think I'm mad. And I was told the other day, I got to curb my passion, my intensity. You know, I'm what might be considered in this day and time a toxic male because I get excited. You laugh, but it's true, isn't it?
Oh, I got a lot of thoughts on that.
But it's a fact. But the point is, our kids are suffering. You know, I know myself, I've given you some background with me using my hands and my mind. For example, everything you see in the framework of this camera right here was done by Ray Terry. I did the carpentry, the drywall work, the painting, the acoustics, the wiring. I did the carpet. I built the table. I did it all. And I'm proud of it. Did you hear me? I'm proud of it. Isn't pride a good thing?
Yes. Well, and accomplishments,
I've seen you
absolutely.
prideful.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen him.
Nothing better than when you accomplish something that you set out to do.
And when's the only time you learn? When you apply.
Yeah, along the way.
Now, I've learned through the years of how to do all this stuff, and I want to reach out to Carolina Urban Wood right now. There's Ambrosia Maple Tabletop was donated to the cause by and from Carolina Urban Wood here in Pineville, right outside of Charlotte. Damon Barron's been on the show here. He's going to be featured in some reels as well. We did a podcast, a trial podcast. Damon was on it. We'll use his fact. Now, here's a guy that's very successful, never graduated from high school, but yet he's got a very, very successful business, you know, with Carolina Urban Wood. Look him up. Google it. Carolina Urban Wood. Amazing man with some amazing workers right here in Pineville. But another example of a guy that was frustrated in high school because they just didn't do what it took to make him happy. So he said, I got better things to do. I'm going to go do them. So here we go. Put tools in schools. How are we going to change it? Well, industry, we need your help. If you go to puttoolsinschools.org and just look at the website. Now, we've got website work to do, too. This technology, man, it'll consume you, let me tell you. And there's so much to know. But go to the website, puttoolsinschools.org, see what we're doing and see what you can do to help. We need money. Why? Well, this studio cost money. It wasn't cheap, thanks to support from various organizations, our sponsors, for what they've done and do for us right here on the About Your House radio show. And that has made this podcast possible. That has made this studio possible. We need donations. Beyond that, we've got a warehouse out here. You've seen the space out here, right, Kevin? Yeah. Our plans here are to make that a workspace, a connector space. No, we're not going to teach curriculum like schools, but we're going to offer summer camps and learning sessions for kids to come over, be bussed over, come in here and experience a little bit of electrical, get hands-on plumbing, do a little bit of welding, all those things. Yep. We got a lot of plans here, and we can't make it happen without industry support, but we can change some lives. And one more thing I want to cover here, but before I do, I want to talk about our sponsors. Our sponsors I've covered Floor Coverings International, Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions, but here's one that's been around for quite some time, and that's Owens Chimney Systems. Owens Chimney Systems, if you've got a hearth, and then a lot of people, do you know what a hearth is?
Yeah, it's like a proper fireplace, but a bigger one.
There you go, hearth, it's fireplace oriented. If you've got fireplace issues, I don't care what they are. There's one company you can call that's all technicians are certified. All of them have been trained, and they've got their own in-house internship and apprenticeship program. You can go down there and learn to be a chimney sweep. And what's funny about Owens Chimney Systems is Christina Thielen. She is the daughter of James Owens, who created some 30 years back Owens Chimney Systems, been very successful, and it's just been a great company. And now Christina, being around it all her life, she went and got her chimney sweep certification, and she's a certified chimney sweep herself with great knowledge, and married one of the technicians, and he's a great guy. Taylor, I believe is his name, and they've got a child now, Asher, and great family business, great service, and they go anywhere in the Charlotte Metro system. But a byproduct of chimneys are chimney caps. Chimney caps that keep the squirrels out, keep the rain out, and various older chimneys need to be capped. Well, they've got a custom chimney cap division within Owens Chimney Systems, and they ship all over the country. We went down and did an interview with them, and spent about an hour or so down there and interviewed some of their technicians and craftsmen. And when I say craftsmen, I do mean craftsmen. They're great kids that have learned the trade of sheet metal, bending, custom fabrication. There's a career pathway right there. And all those guys down there, they were just happy as could be. They just love it. And so Owens Chimney System, Google-ate them. Just Google Owens Chimney System, check them out. If you've got, and another thing this time of the year is fireplace. Gas logs. If you're looking to convert to gas logs, they can take care of you. There's gas certified, gas licensed. They can take care of your gas line and everything else involved. So that's if you've got gas fire logs. And there's issues around gas fire logs because there's varying types. There's vented, there's ventless, and if you want an education, give them a call. They'll talk to you and educate you. That's Owens Chimney Systems. No matter what problems you may have or questions you may have, you can call Owens Chimney Systems, located right in the Monroe, Charlotte area. And don't wait though, because there's a waiting list when you deal with Owens Chimney Systems. They're that good. And there's another dang art form. I call it an art form because there's a lot more to it than just going and putting a new damper in, a new chimney liner, or whatever. But whatever the case might be, Owens Chimney Systems is your company of choice. So, well, folks, did we have that set at 159.50?
We did.
So when it gets down to 0, we're finished, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Cool. All right. This is our first podcast, folks. This will be downloaded and produced again on the airways tomorrow morning with Fox Sports Charlotte. We're developing a calendar around this show, and you can go online about Your House Radio. Not yet. One thing at a time. And there's another problem in today's world. We talk about finding help. Finding help's not an easy task today. Now, paying people's easy. You people show up to get money in a heartbeat. But can they do the job? Can they do what you expect them to do for the money? That's the question. Not always a good answer either. But they'll show up for the money, but they won't show up for anything else. So finding help. Now, speaking of help, let me introduce somebody here, and that's Mark Borja. Mark Borja, he's over there playing. Are you on camera now?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
See, he's the new engineer behind the scenes here. There he is right there. Mark Borja is I'm going to call you a contractor. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool with me. So.
Contractor for Beasley Media. Yeah, he's the media guy, one of the media guys over that works for Beasley Media, and that's how I got to him. It was a referral, great, but I've got nothing but positive feedback about Mark Borja.
Thank you for having me.
And he's figuring it out and getting us going here on the podcast, and I'm really grateful for that. And learning it just like me, he's going to be the teacher. So now here's another guy right here that Mark. He was raised right here in the Charlotte area, up in the Lake Norman area, right?
Yes, yeah.
And parents are from where?
They're from the Philippines.
Yeah, from the Philippines. His father's a doctor here, pediatrician here in the Charlotte area. Now, he went to school at Lake Norman High School, graduated from Lake Norman High School as a kid. Now, I'm telling his story, and I'm not. I hope I'm not stepping out of turn here.
Yeah.
And he just kind of gravitated to his father's camera, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. Like we were just traveling, and like he got into photography, and then like I just saw what he was doing, and I'm like, oh, I really like this too. I want to try it out. And so like we were in a great environment. We were in like Aruba. We were like in like these like tropical islands. So I was like able to have like really cool medium to take pictures of and stuff like that. So yeah.
So he gravitated now. So he graduated from high school, and because his parents. College said, well, I'm going to go to college. He went to UNCC.
Yes,
and to communications media degree.
Yes, communications, mass media, and film minor.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, now he's a great example of what college should be. And I bet he didn't learn all he learned at college. I bet you've learned three times as much since you've graduated than you did in college.
Yeah, like a lot of my like stuff, even like when I was in college and even high school too, I was like just going out to shoot like cool things and cool ideas with my friends and family
right.
and stuff. So yeah.
So see, and the only time you learn is when you get out and do it.
Yeah, just going out there and just shooting a cool idea, whatever you have in mind. Like that's what I just did. Like I had friends who had like whether they were like a band and all that stuff, or like friends who had like clothing companies or something like that, or I had cool ideas. And even short films and stuff like that. We just went and just shot them and like even like just thought of something really cool and like we just made it happen and all that stuff. YouTube was like a really big thing that was starting up, and so like I really wanted to get on like making cool videos on YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now he's been great help. He's been everything that I wanted him to be.
Yes,
He communicates well, does a great job, and it's just been a great relationship, so far. I hope we continue that way.
Yes, let's keep it going. Yes, yeah.
Keep it going.
Yes.
But I'm tickled to death that we got him. So speaking of help, but here you go. Here's a guy and what do I look for? Passion.
Yes.
Passion.
I'm quite passionate about what we do. Yes.
Yep, you're passionate about what he does, and all the guests I've had on the show have been passionate in their field, and we will continue that route, and we will continue this year to talk about, well, your house, remodeling contractors, professionals in the industry. We've got a lot of guests coming on board this year in this studio here, and we're going to have some great times. But I got to share one thing with you here. Got 11 minutes, and then we're done with the first hour, and that's the way it looks so far. You said 1:59:50, right? Excuse me, folks. I'm just working out some technical timing issues here so we can do it. But based on my clock here, we got 10 minutes left in the hour, about 11. So just a little forethought there, Mark. Just keep us all on track. You with me there, brother?
Yes, yeah, I'm all good. So I was just checking the audio and all that stuff.
I got you.
So far, yeah.
Okie dokie. Hey, first time we're just checking the field out here, folks. Checking out. The grass looks green. We're doing it. But what I want to say is this. I spoke to a 42-year-old lady the other day, a mother of a high school student. She called me. Another referral. Very, very knowledgeable lady in website creation, website maintenance, and that's one of the things we're going to start working on. And we were talking, and she, about what Put Tools in Schools is really all about. Well, Put Tools in Schools, the website and all, I was trying to connect the dots for her so she understood what our mission was throughout our new year and beyond. Okay, in doing so, she says, in conversation, she brought up certifications. 3 times I heard her say the word certifications. And here's what we got to get right, folks. How do you expect someone, a child, a student, to get certified or even know what a certification is in a certain field that they know nothing about. Nothing. So in other words, certifications is another cash cow in the country we live in, and it's another way to get you to think you've got to go to further education. How do we get there without letting the kids know of the opportunities and pathways that are offered? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But yet we do it. And she brings up certification. Here's what I asked her. I said, are you aware that you can get a job in the electrical industry without any education in that field at all? As a high school student, you could graduate from high school on a Wednesday and go get a job. I didn't say apply. And go get a job on the Monday after you graduate from high school. What do you think? What do you think? That's possible. And I've proven it 5, 10, 15 times with other students. All they have to do is, for example, dress appropriately, show up on time, be passionate about your desires to work in that field, go up, walk in the front door and say, I'd like to see somebody about a job. And whoever it is, an HR representative or whatever, shake their hand, look them in the eye and say, I want to be an electrician. And chances are you'll get that job. You believe that, Kevin?
Yeah.
It's happened many, many times. And when I told her that, she said, you're kidding. This is a 42-year-old, educated, college degree girl that didn't know all it takes is an attitude and the willingness to learn a trade. That's it. Do the kids know that? No. They're taught resume building. They're taught various avenues of approaching and getting a job. Did they cover that with you in school?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
they set up a protocol.
Yeah, it's pretty much the better resume or the resume that stands out gets you the job,
which is not true at all.
Versus what the actual content is. But
right.
Now it's like you can pretty much make your resume with AI, and they read it with AI. So it's kind of like, how do you really stand out? But being in person and making that energetic, positive attitude.
It's an energetic
impression.
Connection.
Yeah, it's like when you look somebody in the eye and you shake their hand, they sense your energy. That's what's missing, I feel like, in this virtual day and age.
And here's the problem. I've told you that kids don't know how to read a measuring tape. Kids don't know what the trades are. And you just heard this story about a 42-year-old professional lady in technology with web building and what have you. But she's not aware of how easy it is to get a job in welding. Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, you don't need experience to get a job at a welder. They will show you along the way.
You don't need a job to be a plumber. I mean, you don't need experience to really learn plumbing. Now, I didn't say you're going to walk in making $30, $40 an hour, but if you're a high school student and you're serious about learning a trade, all you got to do is find a company that's shortfall, which 100% of plumbers and everybody, they need good help. You've got to have a work ethic, work attitude, and willing to get up and work. But, man, the rewards are incredible. And there are great companies out there that could hire you immediately and train you and teach you to be the best plumber you can be. Right out of high school. Making decent money. And masonry, like McGee Brothers. And there's one of our support companies, McGee Brothers Masonry. Incredible company. Many benefits, tremendous benefits, and a good lifelong career pathway. Can't beat it. So the opportunities are there, but this 42 years young, no, 42-year-old lady, mother with a kid in high school, was not aware. And here's the sad point before we close this hour up. And it's sad to say. Teachers, principals, educators, they're just as ignorant to that fact.
Yeah, I remember last year when we were in the middle school, and great teacher, knew how to get the kids' attention, get them collectively paying attention. But, you know, when the rest of the kids didn't know the trades, you were asking them, you know, who knew how to read a measuring tape? Not even the teacher knew how. Because a lot of these things that were considered basics, you know, a while ago are being overlooked, and we're jumping so far ahead, they're not even bothering with the fundamentals anymore.
And we could go on like reading an analog clock. The kids, they take clocks down. Why? Because kids can't read them. And I looked at the teacher one day. I said, do you think it'd be advantageous to teach them how to read it?
Yeah, I know.
But the sad part is they don't. They don't. So, folks, we got issues. We've got to change the landscape. And there's only one way to do it, and that's engage students, engage kids at their schools, teach them about the career pathways. We've got some scheduled, and the schools are reaching out for us, but we have to show up. Look, I'll do the legwork. We'll do it. And here's my new uniform for the new year. Closing out. I'm Ray Terry, but they're going to call me Uncle Ray. And this shirt works because I went to one event, and the kids look at me and say, Uncle Ray. I mean, immediately. And now what does that mean? Well, normally I'm the oldest person in the room. And it gets attention because I am the oldest person in the room. And when they see me, and there's another reason that I don't fit. I don't fit that room because I am the oldest person in the room, and I don't communicate like today's people, today's educators. Now, that might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, but I'm not changing who I am for anybody, and I'm not going to do it. So, folks, every week I got to close out this hour here. I got a little bit of time, a couple minutes, but we're going to take a short pause for the top of the hour break. We'll come back next hour with more about your house, but I can't leave this hour without talking about one of my oldest sponsors in the Charlotte metro area. And it's a company that I highly recommend, that they're great in what they do, and that's Kilo Exterminating. Kilo Exterminating, great company. I mean, I can't say enough great things about Brian and staff and Dr. Kilo, Ralph Kilo, the guy who was somewhat of a mentor of mine. His work ethic and, you know, professionalism in the entomology side of life really was impressive for me. He took me kind of under his wing and taught me a great deal about Kilo and exterminating, pest control, all that. He called me one day and he said, Ray, what are you doing? I said, well, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to get in your car and come over to this address. I got something to show you. And I did. And I went over to a house on the other side of town, and he showed me I can't pronounce the word for what it was, but it's a vein that'll go up a house and carry water. And the insects make it all happen. Termites and wood-destroying insects were very prevalent, and he showed me that. So if you've got issues, you should have your crawl space and house inspected at least once a year for termites, regardless. And they're a company that come out there, and if you've got a crawl space, they will give you moisture readings, and that's standard. You don't have to ask them for it. That's standard. You can ask them to see what the moisture readings are and have them explain it to you. And there's very few pest control companies that give you moisture readings with every inspection. So think about it. So, folks, hour number one's about up here. I got 59 seconds, and I hope all this time's right. We're going to see how it all works out. We're going to download this hour and send it over to Fox, and they'll air it tomorrow morning. So if you're hearing this in the morning, happy Saturday morning to you. We're going to figure this all out and get squared away here first of the year. But hour number one's done, and don't get off that.
I'm getting that.
There you go. Yeah, I got 28. Yeah, and we're gonna get this timing down right too as well, folks, and get it all squared away. So if you're listening right now, you're either on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. In the morning, you're going to be on Fox Sports Charlotte. We're going to be on other platforms, downloaded to SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, and we're going to eventually be on X and all the others. So hang around. Go get your cup of coffee. Come back to talk to you. We'll talk to you then.